Alrighty, so I have reason to believe that Wildcard probably will eventually make some kind of variation of Ark 2. I think they tried with Atlas, but I think they'll actually make a straight-on Ark Survival 2, probably. Or they probably won't have that title, but, it'll have some kind of variation of it. I think that just because I think they're going to try and milk it for all it's worth until it's fully dead. They're probably going to try and bring it over to next gen, I'd imagine, but probably not the base game. They'll probably make a new version. So I thought I'd give a little list of what I'd like to see in Ark Survival Evolve 2, or whatever it's going to be called. So my first thing that I would like to see in the next Ark would be dinos with more purpose. I think they tried with the TLC updates, but they didn't fully implement it in the way that they should have. There's a lot of dinos that don't have any purpose, such as Troodons, Raptors, Carnos. Really all they were used for was kibble, and now they really don't have any kind of use other than to annoy players. Troodons really get on my nerves because they're literally just there to fuck with new people. Ark was released I think in 2015, and so it does suffer a little bit in terms of graphics, but I think they could improve that next gen wise. I know for PC it's a hell of a lot better than console, especially because I'm not even on the S or the X, I'm just on the regular Xbox, but still, I think even on PC it suffers with glare issues. If you look at the ocean, it will literally blind you half the time because it's just a white screen whenever you look. The glare and the rays in the game, I don't know if that's rays, but just everything to do with sunlight needs fixing. When it bounces off the snow and it's completely blinding, that's something that needs fixed. In terms of PvP, I think there's a lot they could do to make Ark more enjoyable. For example, we don't have a whole lot of weapon choice, really. Typically, you're only going to grab a Fabby and a shotgun, maybe some bolas, like a flamethrower. That's really the only weapon choice that you have in the game. You just use whatever's the most powerful, and those are the most powerful. So there's just really not a whole lot of variation I think they could add. Like what if there was a javelin that would like two-shot you? Okay, that'd be really hard to hit people with it, but it would be effective. They have spears, but like, who the fuck's using spears? I think there should be a lot more hands-on melee. I think they tried to make Ark a little more like melee oriented, but then they completely failed just because of how much stronger guns are. So I think they need to balance that somehow with making melee weapons even stronger than guns, like a significant amount stronger, so people are tempted to use them. My fourth improvement I think they could make is to fix all the bugs, which I know it doesn't seem like any kind of simple task. There are a lot of bugs, and I know it's a lot more complicated than just saying fix them all, but I think that there are some precautions that they could take to fix a lot of the bugs in the game. For example, wiping. I think wiping would solve duping for the most, but not solve it, but it would help it significantly. If they just wiped the game yearly, it would keep the game fresh, it would keep it alive, it would stop dupers from keeping what they had duped, because they can patch it all they want, but it's not going to get rid of what they duped, and unless they did what they recently did, where they have like a number on every item, and then they just kind of trace it to see if it's duplicated. So they really do need to have some kind of wiping. I think it's kind of killed off the player base a little bit that you can have these giant ass mega tribes that can't be kept in check because they're just allying with each other, and then all they really have to do is fight other alliances, and they literally get so bored that they're turning on each other because they have no one else to fight. Like, it's like a monopoly, but in Ark there needs to be some kind of countermeasure for it. I also think there should be more kind of PvE aspects of the game, dungeons and other stuff. I really don't think there's enough PvE aspects to the game. I know you can build, but that only really goes so far. Even Minecraft realized that. With Minecraft, they realized you could build and build and build, but they also realized they needed to copy, or not copy, but they need to implement more things like Terraria, where you go out, you explore, and you find stuff. Because there's just not a whole lot to do once you've built all you can build. The game needs to add more stuff to keep its players interested. Which I know they have the boss fights, but really the boss fights are just something to grind. They're not. I don't think it's really meant to be like a PvE kind of thing. I think it's hard to describe. I don't think it was really meant to be fun. I think it was another thing meant for you to grind. There's not really a whole lot of things implemented in Ark just to be fun for the player. They're all just kind of something you grind over and over and over, if that makes sense. Like, there's no encouragement to just go out and have fun for a bit where you don't have to do some kind of grinding. Or some attempt at making the grinding fun, at least, is what I'd like to see. If the grind can be fun, I'm down. But currently, Ark, there's not a whole lot of grinding that's actually fun. Going more into the PvE aspects, I think there should be some kind of wave system like Conan. I played Conan for about a month, and I thought it was pretty cool that there you would have like a wave of NPCs attack your base like every week or so. Because in Ark, you get so big to a certain point that people aren't going to oppose you in the server. If you follow all the steps and you go the way Ark intends, or not intends, but typically how PvP goes, you will eventually ally the entire server and you will have it on lockdown. So you don't really have to worry about people raiding you unless it's at a server, but even that can take, I don't even know, weeks and weeks on end before someone comes and hits you. So I think there should be some kind of like monthly system where a big group of NPCs will come and attack your base, or a big group of dinos will get mad at you because you're fucking destroying nature, so they come and attack you. Like, they could do some shit like that. Like, what if Mother Nature was mad at Ark Survival players because we're forcing the dinos to inbreed, we're taking land away from them, we're turning into a hellhole by spamming everywhere. Like, it would be cool, it makes sense, but they would need some kind of way to destroy structures, which is where I would think it would get iffy. I have another thing, and that's that they need to fix raptors. Raptors they're not super broken, but there's just one thing about them that has always pissed me off to a next level. You have the ability to get stuck inside of a raptor, and then it'll eat you alive. You cannot escape from the raptor. You get stuck inside of it. I don't think they fixed it, but it's been in the game since like day one, and they've never bothered to fix it. It needs to be fixed in Ark 2. I'm not playing this shit if I get stuck in a raptor for the fucking 100th time. Here's something I completely understand, but I don't think it needs to be in Ark 2, or whatever it's gonna be called. The transfer system is kind of stupid. I don't like that you have to wait in like half-hour intervals to bring your stuff over to the next server. I think they should try and find some kind of other countermeasure to stop duping besides that half-hour wait interval, because it's just so annoying having to wait so long to transfer out of a server to go to your main server or whatever. It really is just a major inconvenience whenever you have to travel to like another base or an allied server, and then you see that you gotta wait a half hour to bring the stuff that you actually like, or the stuff that you need more so. My fifth addition I think they should have to the game is the snapping system. Really, they should fix the building system. The snapping in it is just, it's so terrible half the time. You can spam the little change snap position as many times as you want, and it won't work half the time. You have to angle it really precisely, and there needs to be some kind of better building system. Going off of the building system, I think they should add more buildings overall. I know they tried with that one update where they added like triangles and whatnot, but I think there could be more. Like turrets. I'd like to see more variations of turrets. I think I like what they did. There's the 4 types of turrets. Really only 3, because heavy turrets are just an improved version of the regular turret, but I think there needs to be more. I know there's a mod that adds like flamethrower turrets and cannon turrets, and I think that'd be a really cool addition. And then you could, off giving the dinos more purpose, you could make dinos to counter those specific turrets, and I think it would make PvP a little more interesting and a little more complicated. My final thing I think they should add to the game is NPCs. I really liked the addition to Atlas. I didn't like a whole lot about Atlas, but I did like that you had to go out and get NPCs to man your ships, and I think if they had something like that in the next Ark, it could help solo players a lot. At the moment, you really can't play solo on official. I mean, you can, but generally it's not going to be a whole lot of fun because everything's going to take way too long. So if you were able to get NPCs, and then, so say you were to get NPCs, you have a certain limit amount of NPCs you can get, and every tribe mate you recruit, that NPC level goes down. So say if you are on your own, you can have the limit of like 10 NPCs. You get one other person, your limit drops down to 8. You get another, it drops down to whatever. It'll really just be a measure to help solo players, and I think it'll make the game a little more even, a little more fair play for everyone. Because at the moment, you get a 50-man tribe on a server, and you're easily gonna become alpha. An 8-man tribe can't do anything to stop you. So if there would be some kind of measure to make it more balanced for both tribes in terms of getting resources and perhaps PvPing in some way, like maybe the NPCs could ride the dinos in some way, I think that would be dope. Like putting an NPC on a pterodon and having it on some kind of aggro where it'll just be drawn to go pick people on dinos. That'd be neat. but it'd kind of have trouble staying out of turret range, I'd imagine. But just shit like that I think they could do to just kind of make it more of a even playing field for PvP. So yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about, was just the shit I'd like to see in the next arc. Let me know what other videos you guys would kind of like to see, because right now I don't have any ideas. I thought about going and criticizing other Ark YouTubers, because I know a lot of them just talk nonsense. Well, I don't mean in like the mean way, but like a lot of them just give base locations, and I can really tell that they don't know what they're talking about, because they'll say some random spot on the beach and they'll say it's a good base spot for PvP. So if you guys would kind of like to see something like that, I could do it, or any kind of dino rundown. I don't really care, anything. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye bye.
Stuck in a loop, loving and fighting this